understand that you guys tour on a regular with each other. Just want to understand the highs and lows of touring. What's the benefits of touring rather than going solo? You know, just talk about that. How you feeling?
I think we enjoy one another when we tour. Touring is a definite group effort where we got to come together. I think because of the relationship we have, because of the amount of time we've spent getting to know one another outside the music, coming together for us hasn't been an issue. I don't really wrestle with an ego, nor do the other guys. I think it's a matter of serving in a way to where the gospel is seen as pronounced more than anything we would ever be seen to be in the eyes of the public. So touring is great. I enjoy it. It's a definite time for me of sharpening as much as it is trying to serve the others. You know, and I think when you get any large number of people together, you're going to have your problems or your mishaps or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, the foundation of our relationship really forces us to have more of a loving attitude toward one another. So I look forward to the group times together. Personally, for me too, I think a unified front always comes across as a more effective front than me out by myself.
Right.
You know, plus I'm with these brothers, you know, great men. So.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I agree with most of what he's saying.
Most.
And some, I don't know why I said most. I agree with everything he said. And except for, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, but one of the things that's really beneficial to add to what he said is when you go from night to night and you're serving different people, you know, we...
One second. Pause. D, I can hear you now.
Shut up, Stuart.
So back to the USA, Stuart.
Go on.
Kicked off again, yep.
My take.
Start with, I believe...
I start wherever I want to. Where I'm at. So
start with, I believe, the children of the future.
So from night to night, when you go from night to night, preaching the gospel, doing this stuff, people don't always respond in the way that you desire. Sometimes people come to a concert, you talk about Jesus for 2.5 hours. The only thing they care about after the show is you. Sometimes you go places, you'll preach the gospel, people still be hard-hearted afterwards. And sometimes you're just tired. So, you know, it's not always fun to go from night to night to night to night. Sometimes you're tired, you're discouraged, you've been away from your family, and it's just not a normal pattern of life. So when you're with other people, it's such a benefit to be with other brothers who can encourage you to keep your heart from being discouraged, to keep you from seeing things improperly, reminding you why you're making these sacrifices. Is always really helpful and encouraging. So I think the longer periods that come with touring, that the Lord really gives grace and doing it with other brothers so that your heart stays in a good place. And so that's definitely one of the pros. And one of the cons is there's some brothers who really snore quite loudly. And when I'm by myself, I don't have to worry about being in rooms with people who sound like hibernating bears. And sometimes on tour you do have to think about that. So,
That happens when I room with DJ Official too.
That's why I go in the back room by myself.
That's why he goes by himself.
With a VCR and a DVD player.
Yeah, but I don't mind snoring. I don't mind the snoring. I don't mind.
It's called sacrifice.
I don't mind.
How do you guys find your alone time when you're touring with a crew? How do you find your alone time? Obviously, you need that alone time, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on how we do it. When we're on tour buses and we do our tours, we all have our own bunks. So, it may be, at least for me, it'll be like when we get up in the morning, spend a little extra time in your bunk before you come out and hang with everybody, right, in the Word and meditation, or even on the phone with your wife or whatever it may be. You just gotta know when the good times are to get away, and you gotta kind of get used to the tour kind of schedule. And so you gotta be really intentional because you gotta take advantage of time when you got it, because you never know what's gonna happen. Things always go differently than planned. So
I hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the United Kingdom right now. So how do you work out the different time scales? How do you get around that practically? How do you set yourself up for the timing?
I don't think you really. I don't really think we do anything to, get ourselves prepared. But I think, like yesterday we had a day off and just you get yourself acclimated to the new times and stuff like that. We just came from LA a couple of days before, which is 3 hours from where we're from, 2 hours from Tedashii, and coming from here, it's like almost an 8-hour time difference within one day's time. But I think the Lord's allowed us. We've been doing this for a while, and after a while, if you do get those times where you get to rest and just prepare your body, at least a day while you're out there, you kind of like then you start. You don't get acclimated to the time differences and stuff like that. So today I'm a lot better, and I think we're all a lot better than we were yesterday. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing, real talk. How do you stay motivated? Because obviously there's jet lag and so forth. How do you stay focused, stay awake, stay motivated?
Yeah.
I think one thing that helps me is just when we go to places like this with great hospitality. And feeling welcomed and invited. I don't say that just because those people are here in front of me now, but I mean sincerely, from opening up their lives to their families and their lives to us, and the serving of the food and making sure we're everything is laid out well, accommodating and whatnot. That's not something we necessarily just come expecting or feel like we deserve, but it's definitely a help when you come and run into such good hospitality. So big ups to everybody who's been really, really a blessing to us in that way. I don't know if anybody else on that.
So GL, in terms of out of 10, how does GL rate so far?
I think we need to lower the scale to like 1 out of 5 and then go from there. Forget 10. You gave yourself too much.
Only the Lord's perfect.
To my 10.
But you guys must have had some bad experiences though, right? On tours. I mean, you're talking about hospitality and so forth. Have you got an example of a bad experience? Don't name no names, don't name no places, but have you got any bad experiences?
Don't name no names and name no places, but tell us.
I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna point out like a specific one, but I do think sometimes, which is what I appreciate about spots like how we've been treated here, is people understand that we're normal people with normal lives. We get tired. We just got off a plane, and they respect that. And some people, not purposely, but it's hard for them to realize, oh, this is a real person who. Right. It's not like just my puppet that I can just use the mess out of for the time that I have. But I understand he's tired, so I respect it, and I know he'll be able to serve more effectively if we, let him rest and we, respect him as a person. So I really appreciate the way we've been treated here, and times when people really go out of their way to be really hospitable, and it really allows us to be able to serve the best we possibly can, and it makes it a good experience all around. So we don't like ask for special stuff. We really don't ask for much other than just respect.